Hello, thank you for joining our July Scripture Challenge. Today, we're talking on day 6. Again, I know this is just one day late. Day 5 was 2 days late, but I'm getting it out there for you guys. So, the scripture for day 6 is Deuteronomy 6 and 5. And who knows the books of the Bible like in order? That's one thing they taught us in children's church at my granddad's church in Georgia many years ago, and I kind of learned through that. But now when I'm when there's a scripture, I'll say, okay, where do I think it is? Kind of play a little game with myself, like, do I know where the passage is? And I haven't had to look at the front of the book in a long time to see where a book is, because I've been doing it for probably about 3 years where I don't look at the front, but I try to think, okay, I know if they're Old Testament or New Testament. That's the easy part. Now it's the challenge of where is it at in the New Testament and the Old Testament. So Deuteronomy is definitely one of those books. I know where it's at. So Deuteronomy 6 and 5 reads, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength." Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. So this is just telling us to put our all into God. Give everything over to Him. This scripture kind of reminds me of Matthew. I forgot the scripture. But seek ye first the kingdom. Matthew 6:33. That's one of my scriptures. I should know that. But Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek God first." And we just talked about putting God first in day 5. Seek God first in everything that we do. Not some things, not a few things, not the little things, not just the big things, but everything we do, include Him, and everything else will be added. So loving God with all your heart, which I told you guys maybe in day 2, that heart is your mind, your heart, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, just everything that's in you. Love God. Give it all to Him, because He loves us. I forgot the scripture, but we love because He first loved us. We gotta love God. God is love. So love Him with our whole heart, with all of our heart, all of our soul, and all of our strength. That is what's gonna push us forward in life. That is what is gonna protect us and keep us safe from all hurt, harm, and danger. This is what's gonna provide us clarity. This is what's gonna push us to our calling. Loving God is literally like the catalyst for everything in our lives. So our reflection question for day 6 says, how can I keep my heart attentive to God's voice all day long? That's interesting. I would say one way I would do that is just speaking to Him. Like making sure I'm including Him in everything, kind of what I talked about at the very beginning of this video, but keeping God close, keeping Him in everything. Even for me, when I say everything, I literally mean everything. Sometimes I'll say, Lord, what should I eat today? And He'll give me stuff to eat. Lord, what should I wear today? Like when I say include God in anything, and some people like, that's so trivial. God don't care about none of that. God cares about what you care about. God is concerned about what you're concerned about. If you want to ask Him what to wear, don't you ask somebody else, what should I wear today? God's like, ask me. I'll tell you what to put on. He may tell you to put on something so you can meet your husband, meet your wife. You never know. Or meet somebody business-wise. So when I say include Him in everything, that's how I'm attentive to His voice all day long. It's just including Him in the small, big, medium, abstract, all of those things. That's how I stay attentive to listening to Him, to hearing His voice, is by talking to Him. You begin to recognize people's voice the more you talk to them, the more you hang out with them. So God's voice is the same way. You'll begin to understand and hear His voice, not all those other voices in our head or in our life that are wrestling with one another, but you'll be able to hear God's voice clearly because you know it. You're able to recognize it now because you're like, oh, I know God's character. I know what He would say, and this is probably something He would say. This is probably something you get what I'm saying? So be attentive to God's voice by just including him in every part of your day. So just think, how much do you really love Lord, and what are you willing to give up to do to hear his voice and have your heart attentive to his voice all day long? Thank you for tuning in to day 6. Check back in for day 7.